Are you looking to retire in a 55 plus community in the Charleston, South Carolina area? If so, you're in the right place. Today's video features Cresswind. It's in Summerville, and it's one of my favorite 55 plus communities because it's tucked in the back of a popular and beautiful neighborhood called the Ponds. My name's Nat Wallen, and my team and I help lots of people relocate to the Charleston area, so thank you for being here. Now, if the goal is to move to a place where you can stay active and you're specifically looking for a 55 plus community, well then Crestwind is one of several choices to consider. Now, they all have their pros and cons. In Crestwind, there are 21 miles of trails nestled in this very tranquil forest setting. Now, with walking paths and wooded trails, there's very little standing in the way of a brisk walk in a safe and comfortable setting. Okay, let's talk about the location. This is downtown Summerville. It's also known as Flower Town. Let's take a closer look. Okay, it is February 21st and it's kind of cool out. It's not crazy. We have generally mild winters here. We did have some snow this year, but that happens once every 7 to 10 years. But I'm in downtown Summerville, which is an absolutely beautiful place, very historic. There are some beautiful shops and restaurants, and we're in the middle of a park here in downtown, and this is a great amenity for Crestwind, or really any of the handful of 55 plus communities here in the Summerville area. You can plug right in and just enjoy this Mayberry kind of beaver cleaver kind of feel. So in my opinion, this is a great reason to consider coming to Summerville, and a really, like I said, a great asset for Crestwind. Okay, I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you've been doing your homework on other places up and down the East Coast, and rightfully so. Now, I am partial to Charleston. I grew up here, it's my home, but it's also one of, if not the best place to retire in South Carolina, specifically if you like the idea of going to the beach or just getting out in the community and plugging into fun events as a way to meet and enjoy people from all walks of life. In fact, as I'm making this video, SEWI, or the Southeastern Wildlife Exposition, is going on in downtown Charleston. So every February, national and international artists come to showcase their wildlife art. It lasts all weekend. There are animals everywhere. Thousands of people come from all over to enjoy food, activities. The Center for the Birds of Prey is a rescue organization here that comes to put on a show and educate the public on why it's so important to care for these birds. There are dogs galore, and this is one of the many events that are hosted each year, so there's no getting bored here in Charleston. That is for certain. Now let's get back to Summerville, which I consider as Charleston's sister city. Cresswind is a 15-minute drive from Summerville's historic district. This is the entrance to the ponds, and like I said, it's a very sought-after community in its own right, so you drive through the ponds to get into Cresswind. This is the YMCA here, and we're also coming up on the fire station on the right. Now we're making our way through the ponds. This is the beginning of the neighborhood, and if we stay on this road, it will lead us back to Crestwind. So you can see there's a nice entrance. Lots of families live in this area, lots of people from all walks of life. The houses are of high quality. They are hardy plank. Very desirable. I thought while we're driving around, I could first off introduce you to Elizabeth Nightingale.
Hi. Hello, people of the world.
Elizabeth and I work together. Elizabeth, you've helped a lot of people move from 55 plus into 55 plus communities from a distance.
I have.
Several of them last year. What are some frequently asked questions or some common themes that you see? Can you give me one? You start.
They're worried because they have a home, it's pretty much almost paid for or just about paid for, and how do they get another loan when they're retiring and they don't have a job?
Right, yeah, and that is a good point. Hopefully you're retired or working toward that. And likely, and I've seen a lot of people with a lot of equity in their homes. And this, I think we should call Bart at the end of this little section. But one of the things that I see, really, whether you're buying in a 55 plus or not, is moving here from a distance and just worried about buying in the wrong place. So there are a couple of things that we can help you with there. First off, if you look on the website, I'm going to show it right now. So this is the website. We have this buyer toolbox, and it includes 4 things. The first is a video on flooding in Charleston. A lot of people worry if they don't live on the coast about flooding. This video is great for that. But secondly, it has a deep dive video that shows the entire Charleston area. And that's why we have all these videos on these 55 plus communities, and all these videos that we make are designed to help you feel confident, right? So our motto is 0 regrets. We want you to not look back and just make a great decision. So I would say that's probably the biggest concern that I see, is worried about buying in the wrong area.
Let's talk to the money guy.
Okay, let's talk to Bart. Okay. Hey Siri, call Bart Brannon.
Bart Brannon, mobile.
Bart is our loan officer.
Hey, Nat.
Hey Bart, how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you today?
I'm doing just fine. So just for your information, I'm with Elizabeth Nightingale, and we have you on video.
Perfect. Hey, Elizabeth.
Hey, Bart.
I know you love it when we surprise you with a video, but I thought I'd ask you a couple of quick questions. Specifically, we're making a video about Crestwind, which is a 55 plus community. And we've got several on the channel, but this one particularly, we wanted to ask you about financing. And, you know, people have a lot of equity. A big concern is, look, I don't want to sell my house and not have a place to go. Do you ever deal with that? Can you talk to us about it?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we're going to look at the big picture and look at the whole, and you know, the entire scenario. Everybody's scenario is a little bit different. So we'll look at everything and just figure out what makes the most sense for the buyer, and try to put them in the best loan program, because there's a lot of options.
So there are loan programs out there for people that are retired and don't have a job?
Absolutely. Yeah, we do that all the time. We have, you know, lots of retirees moving to Charleston. So we do ton of loans here at Movement, helping retirees get into their retirement home with a small mortgage.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not so small. You know, it just depends on, like I said, everybody's situation is a little bit different. We're going to look at the big picture.
Okay, yeah, and I know we worked on one semi-recently where you did a recast of the loan. Can you talk to me specifically about if somebody doesn't want to sell their home first because they're worried about moving twice? Can you talk to me about what a recast is?
Yeah, sure. So let's say a recast situation might be where you know, somebody puts much less down than they were planning to put down on the purchase of the new home, because they haven't sold their old home yet, and so they get moved into the new house with a small down payment. After they get moved in and settled, they sell their old house, and they want to use all that equity to reduce the mortgage on the new house. And what the recast does is it recalculates the monthly payment to a much lower amount based on that lower principal balance after they've paid the mortgage down. So it's almost like a free refi. You get to adjust your mortgage payment after you've made a big principal reduction, and it's almost no cost associated with the recast.
Excellent. Okay, so from what I'm hearing, there are lots of different ways to approach it. Every situation is different. Bart, do you mind if I flash your telephone number here up on the screen so people can reach out to you if they have questions or want to kind of investigate this further?
Sure, absolutely. That's my cell phone number, and that'd be perfect. Thank you, Nat.
Okay, yeah, and I've got his email up here as well. Bart, thank you for taking the time. Really do appreciate it, and we will talk to you very soon.
Okay, sounds good. Y'all have a great day.
You too. See you later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, that went well. All right, so what's one more thing we can talk about, Elizabeth? Let me just say this, and this is very important. So we are in a beautiful community, but there are so many of them in Charleston. We as agents, our job is to make sure you pick the right one. We want you, like I said, to have zero regrets. And when you walk into any of these sales centers, their job is to sell in this neighborhood, and they're very nice people. They will be very nice on the phone. There's nothing wrong with these people, but they are only representing the buyer. The seller, the developer, and our job is to only represent the buyer. And we want to make sure that we take you to the right places all over Charleston. We're going to have a conversation with you to figure out what's most important to you. Is it being close to the hospitals? Is it being close to your kids? Is it being close to the beach? Is having bridge clubs nearby important? All those different things. Golf. We're going to kind of build a profile and then make recommendations. So our first step generally, wouldn't you say, Elizabeth, is to have a Zoom meeting or just a phone call so we can kind of figure out what it is you're looking for so we can make our best recommendation, as opposed to you just going to the sales center of any of these places, because again, their job is to pull you in and get you to buy one of their properties.
I think so. And then if somebody's living here in town, we can certainly meet with them in person if they'd like.
Absolutely.
Kind of get to know, and we can go tour a couple neighborhoods and see what they think.
Yeah, and that brings up one last point. We really do take the time. We want to cherry pick, or not even cherry pick, but just take some time and see different places in different parts of town, because at the end of the day, you'll feel good knowing, okay, I like this area, but I don't like this area. And anyway, that's part of the process. So we start kind of at a 10,000 foot view. We have a conversation, we zoom in, and then ultimately we find the perfect place and property for you. So let's continue on with the rest of the video. Thank you for joining me, Elizabeth.
Yep, I can't wait to show you the other ones.
Okay, excellent.
Here's a quick rundown of the things to consider when moving and how they relate to the Crestwind community. First off, Charleston is known for its great medical, and there are several options nearby. There's the Summerville Medical Center here, located on Midland Parkway. And again, this is the entrance to the ponds here. And then here is the Summerville Medical Center. And then there's also the Roper St. Francis Hospital here, which is not too far away on Callan Boulevard. That's probably about a 20-minute drive. And for special circumstances and specialized care, the Medical University of South Carolina is in the heart of downtown Charleston. And they also have medical facilities peppered throughout the whole Charleston area. And do keep in mind, the Medical University of South Carolina is a top-notch medical center. People travel here all the time for it. Now let's look at some of the amenities for Crestwind. Located in the center of the community, the Crestwind Clubhouse has 12,000 square feet, and it features a yoga studio, fitness room, art studio, men and women's locker rooms with showers, a comfortable sitting room, an exhibition kitchen for cooking classes, and a multi-purpose room for special events that happen throughout the entire year. Now, as you can see, there are tennis courts as well. Now, the homes here are standalone single-family residences. All are one story. Some of them have a second-story loft. And as you can see, they offer a nice southern curb appeal with porches, shutters, and there's enough variety to not feel cookie cutter. I actually spent the last 3 days in Crestwind while making this video. And even though it's winter, the grass is brown, but it will soon be very green. But I have still seen people out in shorts walking, playing pickleball, and just enjoying the mild climate we have here. I even had the opportunity to meet some wonderful homeowners, and they allowed me the chance to walk through their property as they're currently selling it. And with that said, let's take a first-hand look at the interior of an upgraded version of what is offered here in Crestwind. And if you decide you want to dig deeper, they asked me to try and show it for them as much as I can. Here we go. Okay, this is Crestwind in Summerville. If you like this content, please do consider subscribing to this YouTube channel, as I'm currently creating content on all of the 55 plus communities in the Charleston area. And I mentioned already reaching out to me directly, either myself or Elizabeth, and we welcome the chance for a phone call or a Zoom meeting. We can share our screen, show a map, and really give you some good insight that you will not find on the internet. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we look forward to hearing from you soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye.